All right. Oh my gosh. I have different screens. Okay, I have two screens. Hello, friends. My name is Chelsea. I am the author of In the Secret Spider Garden. That is so weird to say, and I hope you guys can hear me okay. I am outside. You're going to hear neighbors and whatever. It's normal. There's nothing bad going on. So I'm like glancing between two screens. I apologize because I am live streaming this on Instagram and on YouTube. Um, and I'm hoping it's recording on my camera too at the same time. And yeah, so here I am out in the garden, the backyard garden. Um, you guys may or not recognize the backdrop. I've been using this for like my product photos. So yeah, here we are. Launch day. I can't believe it. I published a book. It was so crazy. I and under a very crazy deadline. If anyone's coming in, I hope you guys can give me like a thumbs up. I sound okay. I think I sound okay. I might be really low. Um, but yeah, so I'm gonna try not to be like all shy and quiet. I don't know what do I say. Just first of all, a big, huge thank you to everyone who has purchased, shared the story, shown interest. It really means a lot. I've already sold a quarter of the books. Uh, that honestly, I was thinking the only books I was gonna sell was not even sold, but what I gave to my editors and then what I had planned to give to family just because people are interested. Hi, Lauren. So as people pop in, whether you're on Instagram or YouTube, please feel free to say hi, drop any comments you have or questions about the process. I'll be talking about that. I'll be reading a little bit of the book and actually sharing my process. But as I was saying, I started this project literally at the end of January. I'm getting my ideas together for Be Kind to Spiders Week for my blog post. And I was like, just hit. Honestly, it's this skirt that I'm wearing now, which I'm still working on. Classic Chelsea up to the last minute. But this skirt, and I'm gonna try and turn around, see if you guys can see. It's a Victorian walking skirt. It's the same skirt I made for the gingerbread skirt, but I found this really fun, like garden print, and I was like, what if I made spiders to be tending to this secret fun garden? And that just kind of sparked the book idea. And I just had these like words pop in my head. So I started writing them down and it just kind of went from there. And it was this mad dash in February to get this project done. And now here we are. I can't believe it. So in like 2 months, I wrote and illustrated this book. And I am going to share that. So I'm trying to think, what do I do first? Should I do a reading of the book first or talk about the process? Because I kind of want to do a reading because I really love it. And I am going to do like a nicer angled recording, but because I'm like trapped between two cameras, uh, it's not going to be the best angle. And excuse me, poor posture. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get the reading out of the way. I think that's a fun way to get you guys interested in the book. I do have the link in my bio for where to purchase this. The pre-order price is no longer available, but this book retails for $25. But if you guys are interested in reading the book ahead of time, you don't have the time to stick through this whole live. If you add the ebook, which is now available on the website for $8, if you add the ebook to your cart and then enter the code WHIMSY, WHIMSY, all caps, lowercase, up to you guys. If you add that coupon code WHIMSY and add the ebook, you can get the ebook for free of the book. So definitely don't miss out on that. If I'm not shipping to your country at the moment, I'm trying to figure that out. but it's just, I know it would be a lot for asking you guys to pay out of pocket if you're international interest, if you have an interest and you're international. So I am trying to figure out how to distribute this internationally. But right now, my best solution for that is to have the ebook. Um, so that is available if you use the code Whimsy, WHIMSY, and add the ebook into your cart. It'll show up as free. You can get it for free, and you can give the book a read. You'll get a download to the EPUB file, and that'll work in your whatever your e-reader of choice is. So let's get into the book. So, in The Secret Spider Garden, written and illustrated by Chelsea Solaya. That's me. And this book is dedicated to my children, but I do have a lot of people to thank in it. So definitely when you get the book, you can read those, but it is dedicated to my little monster, my little beau. Although this unique nursery is not easy to uncover, it might just appear with a little whimsy and wonder. Hello, Halloween Lovers Club. Sorry I didn't get to say hi earlier. Yes, it is a children's book, but I do think this story will resonate with many people. The Secret Spider Garden has a magic carefully spun with blooms of kindness, creativity, curiosity, and fun. These gifts grow in abundance, tended by eight-legged nymphs. As the sun warms the misty dewdrops, will we catch a glimpse? This garden's orb weaver shows off her style with grace, weaving webs of creativity at a steady pace. Here leaps, oh, sorry, I skipped the page. It's like, wait a second. Her gossamer strands are carefully packaged with dew and full of the magic to inspire children just like you. Here leaps the jumping spider from one plant to a flower on a big-eyed journey to explore each and every seedling tower. This inspector's curiosity often sparks a trend, causing young minds to ask questions without any end. This long-armed crab spider dances among the flowers. Wherever he is found, laughter rains like joyful flowers. He shows us it is safe to be silly and be wild, to nourish the love of fun in every single child. Ooh. The guardian of our garden is a gentle wolf spider, whose affection is never hidden deep inside her. Ooh. She teaches us that kindness and love should be shown, and both should always be given, even after we're grown. Sorry. While the secret spider garden settles in the late noon light, our enchanted spiders spin a spell while it is still bright. Always spin your creativity in the ways that you love best. Let curiosity guide you from deep within your chest. Never hold back a good laugh when it chooses to come round, and always do your best to let kindness be found. The end. So that is the story. There are a few pages afterwards that talk about the real spiders that inspired my colorful ones. And through this whole process, I now write inspired as inspired whenever I type it. It's very, very frustrating, but also kind of like change approved. So I do talk about the real spiders and I include actual photographs of those spiders that I used inspiration of. I talk a little bit about Be Kind to Spiders Week and even the references I used because believe it or not, I used a lot I did a lot of research and reference to put this book together, and I wanted to give credit to all of the things that served as my inspiration to help make this book possible. And then, of course, I have a little page about me, and that is in the Secret Spider Garden. Uh, I really, really love it. I don't know if you guys can tell from the excitement in my voice. It definitely was a labor of love, but a speedy labor of love. And when you ask, oh, you may be asking, how did you traditionally illustrate this? And I'm going to get to that, but I am going to go back because I saw a couple questions while I was reading, but I didn't want to interrupt the flow. Um, so I was asked what kind of book. Is it a children's book? And it is. It's a children's picture book. Um, I am an illustrator and graphics designer by nature, so I knew this was something I really wanted to take on the design aspect of. And I know that's a very novice move for a first time author, especially self published first time author. And a follow up question to that was that they've written two children's books, and they're trying to get them published, and that is definitely the biggest challenge. Instead of going with a traditional publishing route where I would submit this to an agent who would then submit it to publishers to try and get it published, I chose to self-publish it because I knew this was going to be just a passion project I really wanted to get done in time for Be Kind to Spiders Week. And going the traditional publisher's route does take time. You can't be on a deadline. You you have to find an agent, and honestly, at the moment, there is not a high demand. There's not a lot of literacy agents out there who are looking to publish children's books. That's just not really what's like trending right now. There's a lot of cookbook agents and a lot of like self-help agents and people who want to do a lot of steamy romance. But trying to find, because I actually did look into, out of curiosity, finding this route, um, doing the traditional published way, and I still would love to try and get this book sent to a traditional publisher, but I wanted to make this a physical, real thing that happened in time for Be Kind to Spiders Week. So I went with self publishing, and I used On Press book publishers, and they were great with helping me make sure my book was formatted and got what it needed. I found their printing prices very affordable. The only setback with doing that route instead of doing something like Amazon KDP is that I have to distribute the books myself, which meant like figuring out how to set up shipping and taxes and all that stuff. Whereas like Amazon KDP or even like Barnes and Noble self publishing, they'll do all that for you. However, when it comes to doing a hardcover book, which I really wanted to do, they don't do it for 32 pages. Most of them have to have, I think it's like 100 pages to have the option to do a hardcover book. Um, so yeah, unfortunately, I really, really, really wanted to do a hardcover book where I had control over the feel of the cover, the feel of the pages, and to do that, I had to just go with my own printer instead of using a self-publishing company like Ingram Spark or Amazon KDP who do the distribution for you too. So that's now my current hurdle, but considering I've already sold a quarter of my books and actually doing really terrible marketing, I think I'm doing not too bad. So I need some artwork for one of my books. You have an agent, but it costs money. It does cost money for artwork. That's the big thing. And honestly, I didn't really have any money set aside for this project. And thankfully, I consider myself an artist, so I felt comfortable illustrating my own stuff. But getting an illustrator, especially for a book, can cost money. It usually tends to be the biggest part of your book budget. So I wish you best of luck in finding an artist that can do that for you. Oh, thank you. Planning to buy one when payday hits. Uh, Trust me, I get that. So thank you so much. Again, if you guys use code WHIMSY, WHIMSY, I think I spelled that right. It's the traditional way of spelling whimsy. I didn't do anything fancy. Lowercase or capital, all caps in your cart checkout. You add the ebook, you get the book for free. So throwing that freebie in there for anyone who's like, I really do want to read the book. Even just doing that is like a huge support. You get an EPUB file so you can upload it onto whatever your preferred e-reader is, or you can even just read it on your computer. So I do have that, and that was its own adventure. I'd never had to make an EPUB file before, so that was really fun. But speaking of art, I do kind of want to show off the original illustrations, how this got to be this. And obviously you guys can kind of tell a little bit, I did a little bit of color editing. Things do change. But I am super, super happy that I did choose to traditionally illustrate this. I mean, I got to learn a lot of new stuff, but I also got to have these beautiful illustrations. There's just something about illustrating by hand that I had kind of forgotten a little bit of the value of, because for a long time I've just been, when I do anything that I publish online, when it outside of sharing line work, it's usually digitized artwork, and I am not the best digital artist, and I have recently fallen in love with acrylic markers as a medium, and trying to retouch with my watercolor roots, because that was something I really enjoyed. So I kind of incorporated that into this book. So thank you so much for the congrats on making my book. It was a big labor of love, but I just kind of wanted to show off some of the illustrations and how I actually did hand illustrate this. I don't know if you guys can see that texture there, but can even just tell in the bowing of the paper. I'm like, where's the picture? Here are my 2-page spreads, which I actually like taped together with masking tape to make sure it was consistent. So you do see that these are actually hand drawn and illustrated. And I kind of fell in love. Every page was like, my husband's probably laughing at me. Each new page was like I giggled and squeed when it was coming together. And obviously, because I knew I was going to digitize these and they were going to be on white backgrounds, I didn't stress too much about layout, with the exception of when I had the 2-page spreads. But yeah, how fun and whimsical. I really, really had a lot of fun with them. And one of the things I do want to point out is I made a point of illustrating these spiders as realistically as possible. Now, obviously, my husband saying, that's true, I was there. Spiders do come in amazing, colorful variations. However, they are not going to be these bright, bold colors. There are a few, but not this many. But I did want them to look like real spiders. Unlike my candy corn crew, which are very cartoony, they don't even have like separated body parts, and their legs probably do things real spiders can't do. I really wanted these spiders to look like a spider you might come across in the garden. but also not have the sense that these are kind of magical beings. And I mean, look at how silly this crab spider is. So cute. I'm just in love. And again, I apologize. Sometimes it's here, sometimes it's here. It all depends on which camera, because I have two cameras going here. And who knew, like, I would fall in love. I thought for sure jumping spider would be the easiest because they are probably one of the most popular, and it makes sense because they are very expressive and intelligent spiders. But I fell in love with the wolf spider all over again. And fun fact, the wolf spider was probably one of the very first spiders that I learned the name of. And here's like the artwork I used for some of the word pages. See, that's how I would make my 2-page spreads. That lovely blue tape there. Still on for this one. And then I would paint it, and then paint with watercolors, and then use the acrylic markers. Obviously, first I did the sketch. I should say that. I did the sketching first, then I did the watercolors for the base, and then drew with the acrylic markers once it was colored. And I felt like I learned all these fun art techniques. And then some of my favorite illustrations are these the spell images, I should say. But yeah, so that was this. This alone was kind of an endeavor. And then there was writing the words. And I actually had 5 friends in the Halloween community who I asked to be my editors, just to kind of, they were also fellow spooky moms who have an idea. They're people who are around children or raising their own children, who have a sense of what children will comprehend and understand in a book for when reading a children's book. Because one of the things I think we tend to forget as adults is it's a fine line. We should have intricate language to help expand children's vocabulary, but there's also ways that we can word things that don't necessarily make sense with children. And I got some great feedback on that. So I feel like the flow I ended up with was really great. And that's all thanks to my editor. So many thanks to those people who I do thank in the foreword of the book. And these are just like my storyboards for the story. And when I was coloring, kind of clearing off the markers when colors were blending, and also my color testing for what markers do I want. You'll even see like numbers here because these are the numbers of the markers. So I could be consistent throughout the pages. And I kept all of this. I really, really, really fond of that. So I think that's about it. I think I'm gonna wrap it up here. Once more, if you guys are interested in reading this book but want a sample, sometimes, like me personally, I'm not a person who does well having something read to me. I really like to read something myself because for some reason, when it's not conversation, if someone's dictating to me, I don't know, it doesn't always click fully. So I am once again offering the ebook for free. All you have to do is head to my website. You'll see the link in my bio, or go to cheerswithchelsea.com/shop, SHOPE. No, SHOP. I'm adding letters. And you'll see the ebook there. If you add that to the cart and then enter the coupon code WHIMSY, WHIMSY, you will be able to get the ebook for free. And I do really want you to give it a read and check it out. And if you do download the ebook, please leave a review and help me out, please. And I do believe the ebook is available for purchase too. If you don't want to trust my website, I get it. Some people just like to have a reliable source. It should be available. However, I think the format I chose, I need to re-upload the ebook format because I was trying to get it where it had the 2-page spreads. And apparently, of all the places, the reason I was doing the ebook, Kindle doesn't accept 2-page spreads, even though you can view it in the reader with 2 pages. So what I have to do is make them single pages. So I'll have to re-upload that, but it's a learning process for me. But I do want you guys to check it out. And if you do buy a book, just so you know, every book does come with this lovely bookmark that I put together with the illustrations. And it says, books are, will that focus? Yeah, there you go. Books are like flowers. There are so many to pick. And you have all the little spiders of the garden enjoying their time, hard at work at their tasks. And every person gets one of 4 stickers. However, these are also available to purchase in the store. And oh my gosh, I'm like, look at all these goodies I have. So you get one of these and one of these with every book purchase. This is my pitch. I'm sorry. Also on the website are these prints. I think they're there. They should be there. Although I didn't take photos of them yet. But I have the prints for each of these pages available. So if there is a particular one of these pages you like and you're actually like, oh, I don't really like a children's book, but I do like your illustration, all 4 of these illustrations will be available for sale. They are limited of only 30 prints each. It was only supposed to be 25, but my art printer gave me extra prints. So I made it a limited collection of 30. So that's why it's the weird number. But if you're like, I'm not really interested in the children's books, but I do like the artwork, I will have the art prints. If they're not there now, they will be there by tomorrow. And I'm like, I thought I had them ready, but I just realized I also never took product photos of the prints. So they might not be there yet, but I'm going to get them there. You really put a lot of thought into this. Neat to see the process. I'm so glad I have been actually dying to share and talk about the process. And I was like, if anyone has any questions about that, I'm so happy and eager and willing to answer those questions because I learned so much in these last 3 months. And there's a lot that you can look up like on YouTube, just on the internet in general. Lots of people have written things. But if you have a certain way you want to do it, there's still a big learning curve. And like I said, I'm a designer by trade, like a graphics designer, and there was still so much I had to learn. I'm used to working in Illustrator and Photoshop are like my main things. And almost all of the like printing stuff, my art prints, my bookmarks, I had to use InDesign. And I'm a bit rusty with InDesign. I've used it for some things for work, like making business cards, but not for like a book layout. And I had to learn all about that. And I'm so thankful, like my printer who printed the books for me, they had very comprehensive guides to find. But even like I couldn't use the same file for my EPUB document. I actually had to make a new one. So it was this crazy wild ride, and I learned so much. I mean, even submitting my book to the Library of Congress, which has been approved, and I actually need to send a copy that will go into the archives. I can't believe that. That's so exciting. That was its own process, own thing to learn. So I think this was such a cool, fun experience. I really loved it. There were a lot of new things, and there were moments where it was frustrating because like my proof wouldn't be lining up right, so my printer wouldn't print the books until the proof looked right, and learning like, oh, to include the bleed as it's just one checkbox was all it was missing to export. Hello. Hi, Gloomy Bruja. So like learning things like that, and it was a really cool experience. And honestly, I loved seeing this come to life, and my kids getting excited and seeing me work on this was probably the most rewarding part. because they were like, "Can you read the book?" And I was like, "Not until I get the final. When I get the final book, I'll read it to you." And them getting excited was probably like the best gift. This book could totally flop, but those moments of my children getting interested and then wanting to like write and draw their own books was exciting for me and a reward in and of itself. So I'm gonna leave it on that unless you guys have any further questions for me. One last pitch. Don't forget, you guys want to read the book, but you don't have the money right now. Add the ebook into the cart on my website. Um, at I lost my train of thought. Oh my gosh. Add the ebook into the cart of my website shop. Add code Whimsy as your coupon code, WHIMSY, and you will get the ebook for free. You can download it, leave a review. That would really, really help. Because I also am trying to get my book into some local bookshops and see if even the local libraries will shelf it. And that does look better when I have reviews. So, if you bought the book, thank you, thank you, thank you. It really means so much to me. It's been really exciting seeing a lot of the books I was not expecting to arrive to people. I shipped them on Friday and Saturday to try and get them close to today to arrive, but some of them actually even arrived yesterday. Some are arriving today, some are arriving tomorrow. So it's been really exciting getting the notifications that your package was delivered. um, so I really, really am happy about that. And I hope you guys enjoy it too. And I'm sorry for plaguing all my feeds with this book. And I hope you guys enjoy it. And yeah, I'm just gonna kind of wrap it up there and say thank you to everyone who popped in, popped out. That made it feel like I wasn't just talking into the ether. And yeah, if you guys want to watch this later, I will have it on my feeds on my YouTube and on my Instagram. I will be sharing them. Hopefully, hopefully the internet doesn't destroy everything, but I do have it recorded on my camera too. So if things go wrong on the tech end, you guys will be able to watch this. And I did do that was my blog post today, was sharing about the party and leaving an easy place for you guys to reference the watch. So yeah, with that, thank you all so much for joining me, and I hope you enjoy my book. And if you are interested in buying my book, there's a link in my bio. Head on over there and you can find all the other goodies. And don't forget that code Whimsy for the free ebook. All right.